We're 100% employee-owned company, no venture capital at this
Wow.
point. You go home at Christmas or whatever, and my family's, wow, you're really successful. I'm seeing all these things you're doing on LinkedIn. And I'm like, actually, I'm not managing my LinkedIn. I got a PR team doing that for me. This is actually finding a very receptive audience, certainly, especially coming out of COVID, where
Right. Welcome, Martians. Welcome to another episode of Marketing on Mars. Today we got a special guest in an interesting industry. We have not spoken with anyone from the hospitality industry yet. So we got the CEO of Jetstream Hospitality Solutions, Emmanuel Lavoie, or Lavoie. Am I saying
oui,
saying that right?
Lavoie. Yep.
Lavoie. Yep. So he is by trade an engineer, entrepreneur, and also an investor for the last 17 years in various different industries. But now he's in the hospitality industry. First of all, Emmanuel, thank you for coming on the show.
Simon, thank you so much for having me. And hello, Martians. I'm excited to be here.
Love it, love it. Tell us a little bit about your background. I probably butchered your intro. You know yourself the best. Tell us a little bit about your story and how you got to this point now as a CEO of Jetstream.
Sure. Very high level. I graduated in mechanical engineering in Montreal, Polytechnique, where I'm from. Spent 9 years working as a consulting HVAC engineer, which I personally thought was, for the most part, really not exciting enough for my career path. And what I did not like was selling hours for a living. So I
Hmm.
started a small consulting, my own business in that time, which I eventually sold to a larger outfit. It wasn't a big exit or anything because it was just a small consulting company, but nonetheless, it was
Hmm.
my first exit. Eventually, I left the industry with really no idea what I was going to do next. I knew I was going to go sailing for a summer up here, up Desolation Sound, and up the lower parts of yeah, the east side of Vancouver Island. And my good
Right.
friend at the time, who I'd met paragliding a few years before, said, hey, I got this little startup. Of course, I knew about his little startup. And he said, do you want to join me?
Hmm.
And it was called leavetown.com, which was at the time trying to be sort of a competitor to booking.com or Expedia. So an online booking
Hmm.
channel, but with a very Canadian Rockies, Canadiana moose and bears and eagles on the homepage kind of vibe. And I became employee number 5. I bought a portion of the business from him, and that was in 2015. No
Wow.
idea what I was doing in this industry. It took about a year and a half to find, I think, sort of real product market fit and really understand what we're doing. We were invited by Airbnb and VRBO, now called Verbo, to build a software
Yeah.
integration. And that was that. And we can speak some more, but so here I am now. I started not as a CEO, I started as a COO. And a year and a half ago, my business partner moved to chairman and I moved up to CEO.
So the same founding partners of leavetown.com now transitioned to Jetstream, or it became Jetstream.
Yeah. So leavetown.com was the name of the company, which when we did the integration with Airbnb, we raised a small Series A of about 1.2 million Canadian, not from
Mhm.
strategic investors, but from wonderful local Vancouver angel slash investors that have all had successful exits in their own right. And
Wow.
less than a year after raising the capital, we exited to an American company, obviously out of the US. They were kind of our largest competitor, and they'd raised 40 million US, and they were looking for, I think it was burning a hole in their pocket. So they were looking to acquire, and they purchased us, which was good. It was a decent exit. Everybody made a little bit of money. It wasn't forever retirement, but it was good. And then a year and a half into that, I had a 2-year earnout. We both had a 2-year earnout. 6 months away from the end of the earnout, COVID hit, and the parent company was going bankrupt. So we
Wow.
seized the opportunity in true entrepreneurial fashion, especially my business partner. All credit to him. He led this. We repurchased the company from them, 100% of the shares of the company, which we'd sold 18 months earlier. And so since May 2020, we're 100% employee owned company, no venture capital at this
Wow.
point in the company. And we took that opportunity to rebrand to Jetstream. Jetstream was a brand we had created for the B2B portion of the business along the way. But then we were fully now Jetstream. So we thought, let's rename the corporation and everything Jetstream. And that's how we're Jetstream today. Leavetown.com is still our own direct channel for sales. It's kind of our own direct
Mm.
retail site, so to speak.
Wow. Well, this is a good segue, to celebrate the acquisition. We always start to show off with a shot of hot sauce. So this will celebrate your acquisition, but also you joining the show. What do you got for us today? What's your
Well,
weapon of
I'm not.
choice?
Yeah, I think your weapon is stronger and more potent. I'm not naturally a hot sauce kind of guy, but for those who know Trader Joe's, I got the Green Dragon hot sauce, which is for me
Trader's
spicy
Joe.
enough. I have Trader Joe's out of the U.S. You can I put a little bit on my eggs on the weekend and I feel it. So now I've never had it
Okay.
straight up like this.
As usual, my weapon of choice for the last 2 weeks has been Tortuga Gordo. They're from based out of Portland. This is called Atomic Cherry Bomb. So you can almost guess what's gonna happen to me.
I
And
think
I'm
your
gonna
head
pour
might
in a
explode.
shot of yeah. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. So that's enough. That's probably enough. All right.
Okay.
Cheers, Manuel.
Cheers, Simon. Let's see what
You can do
happens.
half of that. Do half of that.
Yeah, I'm
We
gonna do.
might
Oh, yeah,
be doing more.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
All right.
absolutely. Okay, here we go. Okay,
Okay.
you went red there.
Yeah, I think I still am red.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
God. Okay, let's get into it. So at a very high level, my understanding is you help asset owners. Here comes the hiccups. Asset owners, um, you help them market, manage, and monetize their short-term assets.
Yeah, yeah,
Hiccuping.
yeah. So, well, how we got started as a business, really, the initial product market fit is we started working with hotel companies. Excuse me, it's getting to me. We're working with hotel companies who use software to run their operations. And those software typically are kind of legacy, especially the hotel sector, kind of old stuff that's been around for 20 years. And we were the first to bridge the gap between that software and Airbnb and VRBO, which were, especially in 2016, 2017, kind of new, not VRBO, but definitely Airbnb, kind of new emerging short term rental platforms where more and more millennials and were shopping. So we bridged the gap and allowed the hotel world, and I mean hotel, mainly hotels with kitchens, which are condo hotels, but nonetheless, kind of reach a new audience. And,
Mm.
and it was not just the software. We also wrote the content for the listings and we responded to all inquiries 24/7 with a reservation team located around the world, Canada, Spain, and the Philippines, all our own agents. So that's how we got going. So in a way, we became a new marketing channel for established hotel
Mm.
companies. And to this day, we work with some large players, which we can discuss if you're curious at some point. But along the journey, instead of being a new incremental channel for large players, what happened is some of the smaller customers of ours is saying, "We really like you guys. We like your culture. We like your tech. Could you just become this virtual management solution for me?" Where I
Mm.
don't need to hire my own staff. You guys just become my end all be all distribution, marketing, sales engine. Fill my rooms, fill my nights, fill my homes, and then I'll just make sure I have good cleaners on site. And it's kind of a new virtual in the cloud form of asset management is what we've evolved into.
So you started off working with larger hotel chains, obviously, because they have a lot of listings, and your service can basically take their listing and distribute it across all the different channels: Verbo, Airbnb, Booking.com, whatever. You basically become an all-in-one solution because it's integrated with all these different softwares. And
Yes.
over time, from large hotel chains, you started managing smaller and smaller guys. What are some of your smaller clients? Like, how many listings would they have?
Oh, some of our smaller clients are literally homeowners. We have single
Wow.
homeowners who buy one asset, and it's not our favorite vertical
Right.
because it's kind of a fixed CAC to LTV. It's like one asset, and unless that homeowner goes and buys a second asset down the line, which could be years away, and it puts us very close to the asset owner. And usually, homeowners are fairly emotional and not as
Yeah.
educated about the industry as some more professional partners. But we do have all the way down to that, essentially, size wise.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
And
that's it. Yeah, yeah.
what are some of the larger clients, if you can
Well,
disclose?
yeah, absolutely. One of our larger customers, well, one of them that you would know is Vail Resorts for sure. We do all of their Airbnb and Vrbo distribution for all of their condo inventory across North American destinations, both Canada and US. And another
Wow.
one you may know is IHG, which is Intercontinental Hotel Group. They're the third largest hotel chain in the world, and we push 600 of their hotels onto Airbnb and Vrbo.
Wow. So large,
Yeah,
large
large.
hotel chains, and you're mostly in US focused or Canadian Canada focused or both.
Uh, Half US and the other half is split between Canada and Europe, mainly France and England emerging. We work with most of the large French kind of condo, hotel, resort operators. Again, they use software, especially in France, which is really legacy software, and we bridge the gap between their software and Airbnb and Vrbo.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
cool. So you basically saw that there's a problem in the market of
yeah,
big hotel chains all the way down to small homeowners who either don't
yeah,
know how to write copy, don't have the time to give, 24/7 customer service, don't have the
yeah,
time to kind of manage a property, and you kind of came into this problem in the market and just said, "We're going to manage everything full service for you." And you take a fee? Is that how it works? Is that
yeah,
how your
yeah.
business
Well,
model
for
works?
for the hotels, again, we just do a portion of their distribution, but it's the skill set and the technology we built to do that that all of a sudden was applicable to a smaller and smaller player, where now you're right, we do everything. And it's only for the smaller players that we do all channels: booking, Expedia, we power their own booking website, Google,
Wow.
and there's a plethora of new emerging sites: home to go, Holido, Vacay My Way, et cetera, that we integrate with. And yes, we take a commission off bookings. So there's no upfront fee to work with Jetstream, there's no ongoing monthly minimums. The first time money ever changes hands between our customer and us is when we send them money for the first booking,
Hmm. So
their share.
give us a sense. You got large hotels, right?
Yeah,
Hotel chains that have over 600 hotels.
yeah,
How many bookings do you guys power on a per year or monthly basis? If you can,
yeah. We're at about 2,000 bookings a month.
2,000 bookings a month.
Yeah.
Is there like do you calculate like an annual bookings value, like
Yes, it's
or
called
any kind
GBV,
of
gross
those?
booking value. So yeah, we're
Yeah.
in the 15 million GBV range.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
And
Canadian equivalent.
um and okay, this is where the tough questions will come in. What does that
Uh
equivalent?
oh.
What does that translate to in terms of revenue? If you can share. If not, that's okay. I already told you what happens when if you can't.
So I'm probably gonna have to drink here, but I'm gonna say we're in the sub 3 mil revenue range,
All
growing
right.
quickly. So that's probably not good enough for you. Oh,
Okay.
I see some red.
Oh, there you go.
Oh
There you
no.
go. Oh, well,
Uh
the Martians have spoken, and I think we're gonna have to do a shot. I'll do it with you.
I'm gonna drink this whole thing now. Oh wow,
All right.
yours is more potent. Here we go. Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have my nurse on speed dial after this. Whew. Oh God, heartburn for sure. All right, so talk to us about your different. Um, you have a lot of different markets. You got the
Yeah.
large hotel chains, maybe some smaller hotel chains. Talk to us about all the different channels that you have, all the different types of clients that you have right now.
Yeah. So what's unique about what we've built is it's really vertical, and by vertical I mean our supply side, our asset owners, our managers on our supply side. It's vertical agnostic. It really is. We
Hmm.
work both with IHG and 600 hotels. We work with small boutique hotels. We work with small investors who may own a small apartment building. So we're working directly with the investor asset owner. Like I said, we work with single homeowners. We also work with cleaning companies, which we can power to become property managers. And we also
Oh,
work with real estate agents that are really in the real estate field, that we can also power to become real estate agents. So that's really the last year and a half is really where I say to the team, we stuck. We're supply side agnostic, but at some point you need to focus, right, as a business. So I feel like the last year and a half we've just been throwing spaghetti on the wall to see where's this sticking, who's buying. We can sell it, and we have customers in all those verticals, but where does it resonate the most, and where are people willing to spend the most money for it? Frankly.
Yeah. So on the supply side, you mentioned a bunch of different channels. What's your largest? What makes up the biggest bulk
Right
of your
now,
pie
it's
right
it's
now?
our original business model still of the condo hotels that we distribute just to two channels as an incremental channel for them. That's the
Right.
biggest
And
one. And then in the exclusive side of the business, which is a smaller portion of our business, but obviously it's everything for us growth wise at this point. Um,
right.
I'm not going to go into specifics, but I'd say that it's roughly today equal, but with one vertical which is going to grow the fastest, is growing the fastest, and where we're going to put most of our efforts moving forward. I
Right.
need to drink some sauce probably soon here. I'm
Yeah,
sensing I'm
yeah.
sensing a red light coming up. Better.
The Martians have spoken. So you have a very fast growing market
Yeah.
within those five verticals, which you can't speak on. But maybe when we get you back on the show in a year, we can talk about it, and you can
Yeah.
share all
I
the.
let me take a shot of this, and then I'll speak because I think I need to take a shot of this. Cheers.
I gotta
Wow.
say, this is the most hot sauce shots we've taken in any episode. Oh,
So I apologize to the Martians listening. We're in a unique position as a company where we have a bit of a market leading advantage. Um, and I'm not quite ready to spill the beans on that. But Simon, I'd love to come back in 6 to 12 months
yeah.
and speak about that. And maybe next time you can ship me some of that hot sauce of
Oh
yours
my
as well.
god. Well, you're not too far away from me, right? You're in Kelowna.
No, I'm on Vancouver Island, Courtney.
Oh, Vancouver Island. Oh, that's even
Yeah.
closer. You're only about
Yeah.
an hour and a half away from me.
Hmm.
I'm in downtown Vancouver, so we'll definitely have to get you some of this atomic cherry bomb.
Oh,
It is hot.
I'm getting
It
the
is
rest of
hot.
my hairs on my head kind of into my neck shooting up right now.
Oh well, you got one thing going for me. You got hair, facial hair that I can never grow if my life depended on it. So you
My
got that
hair's
going.
migrating. It's migrating downwards to my neck and my ears, I think.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, all right. So all these different channels on the supply side. I want to know, how do you what's the marketing channel? How do you get these? Get more hotels to sign up, get more single unit owners to sign up. Is it mostly word of mouth? Is there a lot of advertising budget being spent on this? Is it through affiliations and partnerships? What's your biggest
Yeah.
channel?
Yeah. So we've had an evolution. So and this is where my business partner and I are not natural marketers, which is why I'm excited to be on this show because it's like here's the perspective from somebody who's not a natural marketer and how we built this business. So at first, for the first vertical of the large hotel resorts, we come from because we're not natural good marketers, but we're good salespeople. What we're good at is going to trade shows and just working the
Mm,
floor. And there was a golden era there, which I will cherish for the rest of my life, where we were the only software solution to get large hotels onto Airbnb and Vrbo. So we would go to trade shows, and these trade shows have wonderful, like it's pre-scheduled 15-minute or 12 minutes, with a bell that goes off after, and you just move, move, move. It's like speed dating, but speed networking. It
yeah.
was unbelievable. I would just sit down and go, "Here's your tech. Here's where we fit. Here's what we can do," and it was just like, "I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in." And we grew the
Wow.
business just doing these trade shows, so fairly low cost of acquisition in the grand scheme of things, and we grew, a multi-million dollar business doing this. When we started moving into this new exclusive partnership, where now we're looking at different verticals, I still have at my heart this desire to just go to trade shows and hustle the floor and do some sales. But you quickly also realize that there's a limit to the ability to do that. And you
Mm,
actually need just inbound leads, which is something we really fundamentally never had before. Imagine that
right.
concept.
Wow.
So if you want, I can speak a bit to all the efforts we've been doing in the last 12 to 18 months on that front and how they're working
Yeah.
out at this point, actually.
Would
Because
love to.
lo
Would
and
love to. Yeah.
behold, marketing works. Seriously, I'm still all giddy when we get a lead that comes into our website through organic and we're using HubSpot and we can track the whole journey. And I'm just like, wow, that's incredible. I used to have to go to a trade show and fly halfway around the world to make this happen. So yeah, so in the last 12, 18 months, that's one thing we learned from the acquiring company that got us in the US. They were very strong marketers in their DNA.
Hmm.
I used to joke that the C over there would sneeze and they'd write a press release about it. And at the time, it wasn't actually far from the truth. So when we reacquired the business, one of the first things we did is we actually went and looked and found a great PR agency. They're based in
Mm.
England. They're called Abode PR, and they specialize in prop tech, property technology slash hospitality technology.
Right.
Um, and we've been working with them for about 18 months now, or more. And they're the main. Well, they do a lot of things for us, but one of the things that's been the most powerful is podcasting. They've put us, and we did not get in touch, you and I, through that channel, but they've put me in touch with a lot of podcasts, which have led to a lot of just relationships in the industry and deals
Yeah.
and uh, placements of articles in strategic publications. So that's been a very, very powerful channel. I'm a big fan of PR at this point.
Yeah. A lot of people
Yeah,
give PR a bad rep because there are so many agencies out there. And
yeah,
yeah, PR doesn't always work all the time. But when you get a good PR agency that really cares about you and knows how to get the voice out, what you're trying to say out,
yeah.
and understands your tone of voice, it's so refreshing. And a good PR agency can really make a difference. I've heard of many, many success stories, mostly in the B2B space.
Yeah,
B2C, not as much,
correct.
but B2B, when it comes to a good PR, like it really can make or break and set you apart from your
It does,
competitors.
and it's multifaceted, the impact of it. I go home at Christmas or whatever, and my family's, "Wow, you're really successful. I'm seeing all these things you're doing on LinkedIn." And I'm like, actually, I'm not managing my LinkedIn. I got a PR team doing that for me. So there's the
Yeah,
appearance of success, and frankly, the appearance of success, appearance is half the battle, or whatever. I don't know if there's an expression there, but that's positive. Also, when you go for
yeah,
fundraising or kind of capital raise, capital growth kind of plans, when people know about your company, that goes a long way. So it's not getting me an immediate deal, but it's this perception in the industry of size, competence, not just there's no perception of competence. We are competent, but nonetheless, there's a perception of all these things which help you not only in signing up more deals, helps you on family dinners, helps you raise capital, etc.
yeah, for sure. So then on the other side, you guys also did a lot, produce a lot of content on your website as well. That really
We
helped a lot
do, we
with
do, and that
organic.
was yeah. So I was speaking to a fellow entrepreneur in Vancouver in our industry, also hospitality prop tech, and he was touting the benefits of obviously SEO, because again we've never had any success at SEO, any ranking whatsoever. So he
Yeah,
mentioned this agency. They're out of Barcelona, and again they specialize in prop tech, hospitality tech, SEO, and it's not cheap. It's like 10 grand a month basically for
yeah,
this, but they produce 4 to 6 pieces of well keyword
high
researched,
quality. Yeah,
high quality content every month. And we started in January with them, and it was one of those things where they said off the bat, you got to hold your breath for 6 months on this. So you're 60 grand in just of on a wish and a prayer. But again, I had a personal recommendation that this is going to work, and it's unbelievable. Like I
yeah,
know, granted, we're starting from nothing, but our SEO traffic is just like hockey sticking right now, which is now leading to organic contacts, forms, and leads, which we've never had before.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's the other component, and those two things can work well together: the PR and the content SEO, very,
for
very well
sure.
together.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, SEO is definitely one of those things where, and the environment, the landscape of SEO is changing every 6 to 12 months. If
Yeah.
you want to go to an expert that knows
Yes.
SEO and follows all the trends, because what worked, I came from an SEO background. What worked 5 years ago, the things that worked 5 years ago will never work today. The some of the things that we used to do that we used to consider legal or a white hat are now no longer white hat. They're gray at best, black hat at worst. And so I totally agree with you. SEO is definitely a huge, um, a very important channel.
And
So
it's evergreen, which is like nice,
evergreen,
right?
yeah, it's
Evergreen.
evergreen.
Yeah.
That's the important part. And so you're just consistently getting leads without having to pay like a CPA for it. Granted, you
Correct.
paid for all of
Oh,
this up
my
front,
cost
right?
per
You paid,
lead right now,
yeah,
it's
it's
very expensive.
through the roof. Yeah. But over
Yeah,
time, that will go down more and more and more,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And the good
Yeah.
thing
I see
about
your
a
nose
good
is
thing
leaking
about
too.
it is leaking uncontrollably right now.
I know, me too.
I can't. And the thing about evergreen content, once you have it up there, you just gotta tweak it once every 6 months, once every 8 months, and it just automatically updates. And Google loves that, right? Google loves when you update your evergreen
Hmm.
content. And those updates will cost you significantly less and less and less because you already put the upfront investment. So
And
you did the right you
you
did the right move there.
good. Well, I'm glad to hear. Again, it's just talking to fellow entrepreneurs. In my case, it was at a conference with a fellow entrepreneur and they're an industry partner of ours. But these kinds of podcasts are also a form of sharing this kind of knowledge. Uh, what I've what I we struck gold. I think in SEO you're always looking to strike that moment of gold. We got fairly lucky early on where we tried a article and it just right away ranked. And there's
Wow.
and again, I won't spill the secrets here, but there is a fairly common phrase that a vertical may search on Google where already within 2 months we're like position 3 and 4 on two different organic articles organically on Google, and that's where we're getting
Wow.
really good leads. So I don't know if that happens a lot, but it's a rush when you do find that vein of gold in SEO.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to get you back to talk more about that on another episode. But so supply side we talked about,
Yeah.
and then you got the demand side. You got the
Yes.
side where users like you and I are going on to different channels to complete a booking, Airbnb and all these. That's another side that you guys work on. So tell us a little bit about some of the channels of acquiring the demand side.
Yeah. So early on, so if you go back to the origin story of the business, we were trying to be a consumer facing booking site. And even actually, to be honest, the original thesis was writing all this blog content online where users would find naturally through organic and then would book accommodations, which I think was a flawed concept. And we never had
Hmm.
any success at it. Although to this day, we still
Yeah.
rank one of our top SEO on the demand side is like Hot Springs and Banff. That doesn't mean
Mm,
somebody's trying to book a hotel in Banff. It just means they're
no,
looking for hot spring. But anyways, we rank for that.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
I think it took a few years to realize, and it's a bit by chance. Again, Airbnb Verbo asked us about a lot, and we realized, wait a minute, we are not naturally in our business good at the consumer demand side, but we're good at building pipes and APIs in the background. So let's just push
Mm,
the inventory where the eyeballs are shopping, and that's a big part of our how we kind of sort of at the time pivoted to where we are, and still a big part of our mix today. You can fight for a lot for direct bookings, and everybody in every hotel does. And somehow there's this thought that direct bookings are free. They're not free. Take your
no.
PPC costs, your staff costs, your email list, your marketing staff, everything to get and actually bring that down to a cost per booking as a percentage. And I don't know what the answer is, but it's certainly not zero. It's probably more than 5%. And that's the cost of VRBO, 5%. Booking.com's 15, Airbnb's 3 to us, but they charge some to the guests. So we're just of the mindset, go where the eyeballs are, get the guests, build a database, then remarket to them with some appealing offers. You need to have an offer on the remarketing and try to get
Mm,
bookings. But even then, that offer, if it's a 10% off offer, well, there's a 10% cost of acquisition on that guest. So I
mm.
don't know if that, answers, but
So
yeah.
so you use other channels like Airbnb and Verbo
Yeah.
and Expedia. You capitalize on their traffic and you bring them over to your site. Is
Yes.
basically
Yeah. And then you build
basically
your
how you do it.
database of direct customers and then you remarket to them, which we're doing. And we're doing more. That's kind of a growing part of our business,
Yeah.
to be frank. And it's not because we've only had a marketing department in the business for about 18 months. So this is a
Yeah.
growing part of our business. But nonetheless, I guess my point is that it's still not a free guest because you need to really put an offer in front of them, like book before X day and get a discount, or early bird, or stay midweek and get this discount. Well, all these discounts, um, there's a cost to them, and that cost is your cost of acquisition of that guest. So there isn't really, for the most part, there's no free guest. So we just like to put our inventory where the most eyeballs are
Right.
and just pay the
So I'm
cost of acquisition.
I'm assuming you have tried some paid ads in this on the demand side before in
Oh,
the past,
we have
right?
tried all kinds of things. One of the most creative things we did, which was a total failure, again, this is back in the day. We paid a developer to build us a snow report page because you can API. So there's companies like that specialize in doing ski resort snow report data, and you can go on their
Okay.
website and see all this stuff. But they also API the data out, and you got to pay them like $500 a year, and you get access to this data. So we kind of sucked in through API the snow data, and then we built our own beautiful leavetown.com snow page, and then we were PPCing that. So when people were going, Jackson Hole snow report or Whistler snow report, we were an ad, and the idea is that the guests would land on this, see a cool snow report, and then lo and behold, book your accommodations here too. Total failure. But yeah, we tried
Really?
all kinds of things on the demand side. Yeah.
So when did you guys stop spending like on CPC on the demand side?
Yeah,
Which
probably
point?
2017, 2018, when we realized really it was about the Jetstream things. This is where the brand Jetstream comes in. Is like now
Yeah.
instead of being a consumer site, we were this kind of back end B2B distribution tech. We needed a name for that because I was calling
Mm,
apartment blocks in Barcelona saying, hey, we can put you on Airbnb and VRBO. And then they'd go on our website and they'd see moose and bears on leaftown.com. And there was just a disconnect. So we needed kind of this tech back end brand. Jetstream was born. And at that time, we realized we are not gods at PPC.
yeah.
Certainly not on the demand side.
Plus,
Yeah.
CPC's costs are going through the roof. And if you're competing against Booking.com and
Yes.
Airbnb, good luck with their budget. You're not going to beat them in CPC. You're
Oh,
going to
you're
be
not.
paying. You're going to
Yeah.
be paying a lot for your
They have
CPA go through the roof, right?
exactly. Those guys have 20 years of experience building the most efficient CPC optimized machine, quality score optimized machine, pretty much in the world, probably booking.com. I mean, they're probably one of the largest advertisers on Google. So
Oh
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah. And if you can just pay a percentage on with the
Yes.
booking, and that's your CPA, do it. Do it
That's
all
it.
day, right? Yeah,
Our whole business is based on that. It's like when we go to asset owners or managers, no matter what type, it's like there is no fixed cost to Jetstream. Everything's
yeah,
a variable cost. We get you a booking, there's a cost to acquire the booking from the channels, Airbnb Verbo Booking. There's a cost to Jetstream for what we do, and the rest of the money is yours. No bookings, no cost. High bookings, high cost. This is actually finding a very receptive audience, certainly, especially coming out of COVID, where
right.
the model of a heavy fixed costs, high labor business model for hotels and so on, I think the fragility of that model was very well proven when
Yeah,
all of a sudden demand went to zero and you're stuck with all these fixed costs. So we're definitely seeing a very receptive audience to a
yeah,
variable outsource fee model,
for
which means
sure.
we have to keep our fees variable as much as possible as well. Hence
Hmm.
why we're big fans of these percentage cost per acquisition models.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. So talk to us a little bit about the remarketing side of things. I assume it's a lot of email, right? Do they
Yeah,
work? Have you figured out
we haven't
the
figured it out.
secret sauce? No.
No, and the reason we haven't figured it out yet is we're missing a key component. Our current front end technology, which is going to be changed in a short while, doesn't support like booking codes, discount codes. We
Right.
can't have, book winter minus
Uh,
10% or whatever. We just don't have that. So the email marketing that we're doing to our guests, there's no offer. There's just, hey, love Whistler and go to Vale and how beautiful and this and that. But there's no, and by the way, book before this date and get X% off. That's a key component of direct marketing, which we don't have.
mm,
We will shortly. When we do, we're going to ramp up the that. So at this point, it's fairly, it's ineffective at this point.
yeah, yeah. We'll have to get you back on when we talk about email marketing as well to see what you found works and what you found doesn't.
We do
Well, I
do, by the way,
think
Simon,
yeah,
a little bit of CPC on the supply side,
right.
a
Tell
little
us about
bit.
that.
I think we have a
Yeah,
$500 a month budget, almost nothing on this, and
yeah.
not successful either. But I do see the ads. Sometimes myself, I'm on Google, and of course, maybe it's servicing to me because it knows that I go on the Jetstream website, but I'll see my ad and I'm like, wow, okay, that's cool. But yeah, no success there either. Much more success on the organic at this point.
On the organic, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, And then, okay, so what about the one of the keys to B2B is community nowadays.
Yeah.
What do you guys do on the community side? Are you guys still very involved with community, going to events, thought leadership? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I want to build the greatest community of users of all times, at least in our vertical. That's a 2023 plan for us, but we're definitely going to be
Yeah.
leveraging some of the existing tools like Mighty Networks or Honeycomb or other such platforms. And we sort of have an informal community like in the verticals that really, I mean, in our original vertical, we now go to the trade shows. We go to Mountain Travel Symposium. We go to a
Hmm.
wonderful trade show in France. It's like a coming to old friends, essentially, at this point. We've been doing business together for 4 or 5 years. They love us. We love them. So there's an informal community there. And then in the new form of the business, there are certain verticals that are very important to us. And in those ones, we baby and shower our customers with love. Uh, you know, uh,
Mm.
we're on a texting basis. I visited one of our customers last year in the U.S. I personally went and visited her. My mom came with me because she wanted to
Oh
travel
my.
with me post COVID. So
Wow.
I visited a customer with my mom. It was just the funniest thing. So that's all informal, but I want to formalize a community with the appropriate
Mm.
tools and with the appropriate educational components. And like when we release something in tech, because we're on 2 week sprints, I want our product owner to release a little Loom video, like, "Hey, this is new, guys. You're gonna like this." Very much so.
Cool. Well, let me know when you guys do start doing that. I will supply the hot sauce, and let's before we hop out, let's do one
One
final
more.
dab,
I'm
one
ready.
final dab, and tell us like what should we look forward to in with Jetstream in the next 6 to 12 months. Like what give you the floor to just kind of talk about anything that's upcoming in the next year.
Well, we've identified a key market for us where we have a first mover advantage and a very large opportunity. So right now it's all hands on deck to it feels good as a company to just focus for a second. After a year and a
Hmm.
half of throwing spaghetti on the wall, we found the best spaghetti pot and we're going all in. All in means product and technology, marketing and sales, which is very healthy for the business. I can tell you everyone in the company, all departments are just happy to know that now they can focus all their efforts on one thing. So
One
if we're
area.
successful in this, which I'm banking we will, because of our early successes, um, you I think we have an incredible opportunity ahead of us to grow significantly. Um,
Mm.
Probably, it's a bit of a snowball effect, but probably in the tune of 50 to 70% next year, and then probably in
Wow.
100% beyond that. It's kind of a bit of a delayed MRR ARR concept. So
Yeah.
that we are going to be fundraising a little, and we're calling it a friends and family round. The opportunity is so significant in front of us that we've internally hired a few more devs, marketing, and salespeople to capture it. So it's moved us a little bit into burn territory in the last few months. So now we're going to do a little friends and family round, but we don't really want friends and family. We want strategic friends and
Strategic.
family round. So we're calling it a
Yeah.
strategic FNF round, which will tie us over until the Series A, in 12 to 18 months. So if anybody's curious, interested, please,
Yeah.
reach out to me. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have all your links in the show notes. But
Okay.
definitely, thank you so much for jumping on. This is the most hot sauce I've ever taken in 30
Oh,
minutes. But excited to have you back on in the new year and hear all about the successes and maybe the new community that you're building. Community is the
thanks.
key right now. So,
Yep, I totally agree. Thank you, Simon, for the opportunity to have me on the show. And I guess we got to finish by shooting this, right?
yeah, cheers.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers to the Martians.